You tried all the content advice, and it seems like nothing is working for you. You've tried to post 15 times a day. You have tried to do different cuts and different angles with your video. You've tried to do every trend known to man, and it still feels like you just can't get traction with your videos. I understand exactly how you feel. And I want to talk about it because I want to help you figure out why the content advice isn't working for you. And sometimes it's us. I won't even lie to you. And I'm going to touch on that in this video. And sometimes it's not a matter of the tactics and the strategies being bad strategies. It's just that you don't have a direction, you don't have clarity with it. And sometimes it can just be a matter of your messaging and what you're saying in your content that's not resonating and clicking with people in the way that you want to. So, we're going to break all of that down in today's video. So, if you are someone who has been feeling like this with your content, I want you to let me know that I'm talking to the right people in the chat. So, if it's you, put me in the comments and let me know if you are in a place where it feels like all of the advice, all the creator advice, and the content advice is just not clicking for you. All right. So, just a little backstory on my experience with this. So, I've been creating content for a long time. I want to say I started in 2017, officially is when I started making content. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of people educating you on creating content necessarily. There were a lot of people that you could watch and emulate and try to pick up their strategies and their tips. But when it comes to all of the gurus and the marketing people that we see now, that wasn't there. And so a lot of what I had to learn and figure out was through trial and error. So we're going to fast forward and TikTok opens up. And I'm on TikTok and I'm creating content and I'm trying to figure out why my trends were not working. And this used to really mess me up because I'm like, okay, I see all of these people getting like thousands of views, millions of views on their videos, millions of likes, doing these dance trends, and all I see is dance trend, dance trend, dance here, dance here. And I'm over here doing the exact same trends that y'all over here blowing up off of, and I'm not getting that same energy. And there was a point in time, and this feels silly to say now, but there was a point in time where I felt like I wasn't pretty enough for TikTok. I didn't feel like I was pretty enough for TikTok. I didn't feel like I fit the aesthetic, whether it was because I was not a teenager or because I wasn't because of my the color of my skin, because I wasn't. I know y'all know where you know what I mean when I say this. And so I didn't feel like I fit the standard or the mold for what it took to be successful on TikTok. And so I started feeling really discouraged by it because I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't get it right. Happy Thursday, Kayla. You came just in time. I just got started. And so today's topic is all about the content advice that isn't working and why it's not working for the creator that's tried it all. And so I decided that I was going to do something a little different because at this point, I did the dance trends and y'all wasn't messing with me on the dance trends. Okay. Like I'm over here pouring my heart and soul on the dance floor and nobody cares. And so I started to switch it up and I started to talk more in my content. And so I started doing like short videos because you only had 30 seconds at this time on TikTok. It ain't what it is now. So I would do short videos and they would be like quick phrases that were a little disruptive, a little edgy, it ruffled a few feathers, but I felt like I only had 30 seconds to really make a good impression. And honestly, I don't even really have 30 seconds because people wasn't watching the full 30 seconds of videos, let alone the 10 minutes that you can record now. So I was like, I need to come out the gate hot. And so I started to record more videos of me talking. And that was when I finally started breaking into 1,000 views. And then all of a sudden I'm getting up to 3,000 views. And then I had my first video that went viral, and I got over like 100,000 views on that video. And all of those videos were from me using my voice. And so at that time, I wasn't following any formula or any of the advice that I was seeing. I was just doing what I had came up with. Like, I was experimenting and I was trying things out. And so this is something that, like, this is a story that I've told before, in my journey as a creator. And usually when I tell this story, I use this as a way to encourage people to use their voice, right? But today I want to reframe it slightly, because there was something else that was at play there. There was something else that was going on. And the thing that changed and shifted for me was that I had clarity on what I wanted my content to do. I had clarity on what I was attempting to accomplish. And most importantly, I had clarity on my unique perspective and my way of looking at something and an industry that already felt saturated. I was able to bring my own take to it, and I believe that that is what really helped for my content to feel like it was doing something different. And I want to know if it feels to you like you have tried it all and you have used all of the tactics and all the tools and the tips, but it doesn't feel like it's resonating with people, or it doesn't feel like people are really rocking with it, or connecting with it, or converting from it, right? Because this is the part where I'm going to get into my first point of today's today's video, and that is clarity. Clarity. And I've been talking about clarity. I've been on clarity for a minute, but I got to come back to it because people are losing the plot. And I want you to know that you do actually have the ability to see some different results from what you're doing, but it does involve you knowing what it is that you bring differently to the table. Clarity is the word of the month, for real. Correct. Definitely feel that at times, but then I think, have I exposed people enough? Yeah. Ooh, that's good, Kayla. That's good. Okay. And I think that that kind of falls in line with clarity. So I think I'm gonna riff off of that a little bit. So when I talk about clarity, I talk about it from a perspective of having a understanding of what you want your content to do. And so there's someone who, I've seen this analogy a couple of times, where they talk about content being a vehicle, right? And so they compare content to a vehicle, but you're getting in the car and the content is taking people to a destination, right? Have y'all heard this analogy before? If you have, just put a one in the chat. The content is the vehicle taking people to a destination, and whether that destination is to become a follower or a subscriber, or to sign up for your email, or to sign on as a client, you are giving your content a direction. The vehicle has to have a direction, and that's where the clarity comes in. Because one thing that I'm seeing is people are saying that they want to create content to, let's say they're creating content because they want to monetize it, like, and it's like, actually this is a great example, because this is the part where it's, you feel like you're saying something, but when you think about it, you're not saying anything clear, because how are you going to monetize? What how are you going to monetize? What does monetization look like? And in the year of Beyonce, of 2025, we are in a place where we have so many different options and avenues for you to use content to get you paid. Yeah, exactly. It sounds good, but how? And sometimes I think that it annoys people to ask that question because it now reveals that you might have a gap in your clarity. You might have a gap in your plan because are you getting paid off brand deals? Are you getting paid from your products and services? Are you getting paid from the platform? Are you getting paid through ads? How are you monetizing your platform? What is the content going to do? And even all of those things that I listed, each of those avenues has a different method of creating. It's a different model, a different business model essentially, because content is the awareness. Content is the marketing. It gives people the awareness of what it is that you do, who you are, and it is now your job to let them know what it looks like to not only support you, but to work with you. Like, what does it look like to pay you for your time? What is it that you want to be compensated for doing? And I talked about a little bit on TikTok. I talked about how it's important to decenter yourself from the content because when you decenter yourself from the content, now you are focusing on the transformation instead of just making the connection, instead of just being relatable. And even when it comes to influencers who are most of their income is coming from brand deals, right? Or most of their income is coming from maybe it's coming from the content platform. They're still providing a transformation. They are clear on what the transformation is and what it is that you get from being in their space, whether that's a good laugh, whether that's perfume recommendations, whether that is skincare recommendations, whether that is a space where you get to be yourself and feel creative, like they're providing some type of value, some type of transformation. And you may enjoy this creator so much that you're not even realizing, oh, they actually are still moving with intention. They are actually still providing something of value and they're clear on what the value is, but I'm seeing it and I'm not clear on what mine is. And so, and no matter how many of these tactics and strategies and tips that you take, it doesn't overcompensate. It doesn't make up for the fact that you have to be clear on what that looks like. So I'm gonna give y'all a very quick example. So last year, I focused a lot more on brand deals and getting monetized through brand deals. And so that meant that I was making a lot more content where I was mentioning brands. I was actually taking inspiration from a lot of the creators in my network who I was seeing getting brand deals, who I saw showing up consistently. And I was using that almost like fuel, like, oh, that makes sense. Or I love how X, Y, and Z is incorporating the products naturally in their content. So when it comes to them actually recommending something to you, it already makes sense. It clicks, right? And so when I took that intentional shift from creating for I was creating branding content, but I kind of put branding content on the back burner a little bit. And I wanted to focus on the brand deals, especially during the summertime, because I was like, coaching programs, educational programs in general, they tend to slow down in the summer because people are outside, they're doing stuff, they got lives to live. And also, it just wasn't sustainable for me because I'm a mom, my son is out of school. We got stuff we trying to do. So that model, that method of making money didn't make sense for me at that time. So I was like, I'm gonna shift my focus. I'm gonna focus on brand deals instead. That also meant that I was on LinkedIn and I was connecting with talent management agencies, and I was on there, going through and connecting with people who were sharing brand deal opportunities, and that shifted my focus. That became my intention, and everything else that I was doing kind of was on the back burner, right? And so even with that, that was an intentional move because I had made up in my mind that this year I want to get more brand deals. And so that was how I ended up moving. And so doing that, it it reminded me of how important it is to know what it is that you're trying to do to monetize and move towards that. Because when you do, you are guaranteed to succeed. And I think that that's the part that I really want you to be encouraged by, but also reminded of. If it feels like nothing is working and nothing is sticking, it is possible that your attention and your energy is being split into too many different ways to monetize. It's being split into too many different ways and methods of creating, because again, each method of monetizing requires a different business model. There are literally different ways to make money. And once you start getting one going and you have it in a good rhythm, that's the best time to then bring in something new and integrate that. But when you're trying to do them all at the same time and they're all starting from the beginning, that is a very confusing time. And that's a very frustrating time, especially if you are also in a place where you're discovering yourself. If you are in a season where you feel like you are rebranding, if you feel like you are leveling up, if you're feeling a shift in your life, and on top of this internal shift that you're feeling, you are also trying to go for all of these different ways to make money instead of honing in on what you have the capacity to give your energy to and focus on that, you don't even realize how stretched thin you are until sometimes until you have burnt yourself out, right? So all of that to say that clarity is so important. And I think that one of the things that stops us from having that clarity is that we're not being honest with ourselves about what we really want. We're not being honest with ourselves about what we really want. Sometimes we're not honest with ourselves because we're afraid that we're going to fail publicly. Sometimes we're not honest because what we want to do looks different than what we've been doing. And what does that look like? Like I don't even know what that would even begin to look like. If I decided that I'm not going to that I'm going to start mentoring people now, and all I've been doing is making fun content that people enjoy consuming, but there's this whole side of me that enjoys mentoring people and guiding people and helping people get to a certain place within themselves that's not just about entertainment, but now I want to lean a little bit further into this. And that feels scary because what if people don't take me seriously? What if my audience doesn't like this when they start leaving and I start losing followers? What if I try it and I enjoy it, but it doesn't do well, it doesn't succeed? There could be so many different reasons why we are not being honest with ourselves about what we want. But one thing that I've realized is that most times deep down we know, whether we're admitting it or not, we know what it is that we want to do, but the turmoil starts to come in, whether it's because of the fear of whether this is going to succeed, the fear that it might succeed and now I have these responsibilities and I don't want to let people down, or whether it's because this is different than what I've been doing and what if people don't rock with it. And like, let me know, y'all, are any of these resonating with you? Like, do you feel or have you felt any of these before? Because I really want to know where you are with this, because for one, I want to make sure that I am responding to your needs with this video. But I also want this to be a place where you can finally be honest. You can finally just admit it. Even if it doesn't lead to anything at this very moment, I want you to have the space to feel like, you know what? I actually do feel that, because that's going to be the first step to you having that clarity, and it's going to be the first step to you seeing different results when it comes to your content. So let me know if any of these is resonating with you. Say me, or let me know which ones you feel are speaking to you right now. I know for me, One of the biggest ones, and where I wasn't being clear, is that I wasn't being honest. I was holding on to a version of myself that I no longer was. Like, I was no longer in this place, and I was shifting, but I was afraid of people looking at me like I was flaky. That was actually mine. Like, I was worried that people would look at me and they'll be like, "Oh, here she go doing something different now." Like, well, she constantly switches stuff up, and now she doing this, but she was doing that before. And like, I felt like there was going to be a lot of judgment from people. And when I started doing it, I literally didn't have anyone telling me that. Now that I think about it, no one said that. No one was like, "Okay, so you doing this now?" That was literally me in my head telling myself that. And so it's also really funny when you look at the things that we are scared of, and you see in real time, like, we make stuff so much bigger in our heads, and we create scenarios and fears that more often than not don't even come to pass. Like, they don't come to pass, and if they do, they're nowhere near as catastrophic as we create them to be, with these incredible imaginations that we have. So that was mine. I've shared a little bit of that. I might share that again in another video, but that was the feeling that I had, that I was going to look flaky if I went into this. But by giving myself the permission to explore, and giving myself the permission to be honest with what I wanted and then go for what I wanted, that's where the clarity came into play. And not even just the clarity in my content, but the clarity in myself and what all of these different pieces coming together actually meant, like seeing how fashion and content creation and confidence and speaking and creating videos where I'm actually talking, all of these different things are merging together into one space that makes sense and feels like me, like it feels uniquely like me. And I needed to feel like me so that I can talk about it confidently, because it's not about me. It's not about, I share my stories because I want you to see that I can relate, but I also want you to see what's possible. And storytelling is just my way of doing that. I think sometimes I wonder if my product is truly enough for people, and trying to get people to invest in me and themselves. Like, in the buildup, I contemplated on making it a physical journal. I wonder if I need to start working on that. Yes. I actually was thinking about that yesterday, Kayla. Yes. Yes. I will expound on that later. But yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think, and I don't think that it's because of the people's preference for digital over physical. It's not even really about what people prefer, because people will consume it in either format. But I think that it's more so about being able to talk about it with the confidence and the assurance that people need this. Yeah. So yes. Yes, I'm definitely gonna expound on that. I think that when we're able to be clear, we're able to be consistent. And when we're able to be consistent, we are able to be confident in what it is that we do. And there are different ways for us to do that. But one way that I do want to highlight, that I've been talking about, but I'm going to talk about it again because I really think that y'all need to hear it. One of the best ways to boost your confidence is to talk about what you have already done, whether that is for yourself or whether that is with other people. Talk about what it is that you have been able to accomplish. Talk about the transformation. in your content. I think that a lot of us are kind of stuck in this place where we're kind of like dancing around things, and we are still not taking credit for the things that we've actually done. And we write off too many of our things as like a coincidence, or I didn't have anything to do with that. That wasn't me. I had that experience with my very, very, very first client. And I've felt it since then, but this is one of my favorite examples to use because of what happened and how ridiculous it was that I tried to remove myself from the equation. So I had my first client. It was my beta client. I was testing out this theory of branding. Like, I was like, can I really do this? I have this idea. I have this concept, and I keep getting these visions of her business. Like, I was like, I can see it. I can see where it can go. And I wonder if like what I'm saying is valid, like if I can really help somebody. And so I worked with her name is Nakia, and she is a majorette dance coach. And when we met, she was my trainer, like my personal trainer. We wasn't doing no dancing. We were just like doing like strength training and cardio. Like, she was training me. And she was in a place where she was hosting these like virtual workouts. This is like very early pandemic, and we were all on Zoom, and we hadn't had the Zoom fatigue yet. That doesn't matter. I'm just kind of adding some color to the story. And so she was hosting these classes, and the thing that I kind of like picked up on, even though I didn't really think about it at the time, is that there are so many people doing these. Like, what is it that you're bringing to it that makes it feel unique to you? Like, I felt like I joined it because I met her at a conference, and we just kind of hit it off. We clicked, and I thought she was cool. And so I was like, okay, well, if you're doing this and you're looking for people to like run through this program with you, then I'll do it. And so like that's how we got connected. And so from there we would work out at least once a week, and we would chit chat about like my health and life. And we actually just became friends. So one day we were working out, and the entire workout I was so distracted because I kept thinking about her. I kept like having visions of her teaching dance classes. And this didn't come out of nowhere, because her entire background was in dance. She's been dancing all of her life, and she actually was a majorette coach for either a middle school or a high school. So she was doing that already. And the physical training was, I mean, the personal training was something that she was doing on the side, essentially. So, or like in tandem, because it wasn't a side hustle. So she was doing both of these things. And so she would talk about the girls that she was helping, and we would she would catch me up, and sometimes she would show me the routines, and I could see how much she loved dance. And so the idea of it started to come to me, but it didn't come out of thin air. It was because it's what she was already doing. And so I asked her, I was like, why don't you teach majorette dancing like fully? I was like, why don't you do that? And I was like, what if you took this idea of majorette dance and turned it into fitness? And this was your way of bringing like that physical aspect to it, but you're doing it through majorette. And I was like, like they do it with Zumba, they do it with the line dance classes, why can't you do that with majorette? And so she was like, you want to know what's so crazy is that you're not the first person that said that to me. Like somebody else, a friend of mine, was asking me why I don't do that too. And so from there, it led to the conversation of me asking, well, would you be open to me helping you with this? Because like I have all these ideas swirling in my head, and I just feel like I gotta talk to you about it. I gotta share it with you. So she agreed to it, and so we had our first session. And in that, I kind of mapped out her a very light example of like what her business strategy would look like. not in-depth, business coaching where I'm going through like her entire system and back end and things like that. I'm just giving like a general idea of what it could look like and how she could get started. And then I also talked to her about her content strategy. And I was giving her some different things to do on TikTok so that she could start to gain more visibility. And so she was one of those people where like she took whatever I said and she ran with it. Like she was on her job. So every time I would give her content ideas, she would go out, she would execute them to perfection. Actually, it was like A plus plus because she was still adding her own elements to it, her own ideas to it. And she started doing dance trends, creating her own majorette dance trends. And she had a couple of dance friends who would do them too. I did a couple of them, even though I was like, my dance videos don't be doing no kind of numbers. So I really am just, I'm doing this to support. So I would do like her dance challenges too. And we ended up getting her from, hey Adrian, we ended up getting her from less than I think she had like 100 and something followers, and she ended up getting to her first 1K followers in like y'all literally less than 2 weeks. And when it happened, I was I was like flabbergasted, okay? Flabbergasted because I was like, wow, I helped you do that. But do you know at that same time, like in that same breath, I also felt like I wasn't being humble enough. And I needed to scale back, and I needed to be like, oh no, maybe, maybe it just like it just hit the right algorithm. I mean, hit the algorithm the right way, or it just got lucky, or it was just her time. And I immediately shifted into this space where I didn't want to give myself any credit for my part in helping her. I wanted to give all of the credit to her. Like I didn't want to take it. Like I didn't want to take any credit or make any claims that were bigger than what I felt like I could provide. And there were a couple of things that were kind of going on, in my mind at that time. One of the biggest ones I think was this fear of like, can I replicate these results? Right? Because I never wanted to become the person who could guarantee you any follower count, like ever. I don't care how good I am at making content. You can have the best content and it still just don't do what you think it's going to do. Right? And so I didn't want to make any claims that I couldn't replicate. And so I, at the time, really didn't understand how to communicate my value and what I did without referencing the numbers and the followers. But it really, y'all, was about way more than the followers. And I can say this now, but at the time, like I said, I was struggling. I was like, now what if people come to me expecting me to get them to 100K? Like, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what numbers you're going to reach. But what I really helped her to accomplish is I helped her to see how she could go for the thing that she really wanted to do. And I could tell that while she had the certifications and the degrees and what she was doing as a personal trainer, I also could tell that her heart was in dance. Like I could see it. Like I could tell that her heart was in dance. She would glow up every time she talked about the girls. She would wear like the matching outfits with them, and she would like wear like no, not matching outfit, but she like wear like the team colors, and she would show off her outfit of the day, her utada. But this was before utada was a thing. But she would show off her utada, and she started to really gain traction as a majorette dance coach. And even now, she travels across the country and she has classes where she trains entire teams of majorette, like entire majorette teams. And she coaches individuals and she does private sessions. So for the people who want to really get their skills in check so that they can go to college with this. Like it has become her business, and it is so her. And she's now at a place where she's in, I think she's like 50,000 50 plus thousand followers now. Her videos consistently do numbers like 100,000, like thousands is like a norm for her content. She still does her dance challenges from time to time. And I love seeing how things have really shifted and taken off because she decided to take a chance on what it is that she really wanted to do. Y'all get where I'm going? Like that was the transformation that I was able to provide. The numbers are incredible, and the the followers and the sales, the ticket sales, all of that is incredible. Great. Like it's a business, so it should be doing that. But what I love is that I was able to help her to get into alignment with who it is that she wanted to be and what it is that she wanted to do, and take a chance on her dreams and being honest. You're going back and being clear about what it is that she wanted to do. And that is what I was able to help her accomplish. But I'm saying all this to say that it's important for you as the individual to understand what transformation you are providing for people and consistently talk about those transformations, consistently tell those stories, consistently share those things so that people can see the value in what it is that you do. Okay. All right. Am I making sense so far, y'all? Let me know. I'm trying to figure out why my camera keeps getting blurry. Okay, that's better. I see y'all tapping. Yes, yes, getting clear on the transformation. And so all of these different things, whether it is you not being honest with yourself, whether it is you not communicating it clearly, maybe you are solid in what it is that you do, but you're having a hard time actually putting that into content. That's where the decentering yourself comes into play. Make it about the transformation, make it about the story, make it about the results, and share that. Like, share with people what it is that they can have, what it is that they can attain because they have purchased from you, because they gave you their money. I gave you this money. What do I get? Like, let them know what it is that they get, and own own the transformations that you have provided, own the testimonials, own the stories, own the things that people have told you you have helped them to do. There's something that I would always say, that I still believe is true. And if you are someone who struggles with accepting compliments, you're probably someone who also struggles with accepting testimonials. If you struggle with accepting compliments, if you struggle with accepting the good things that people say about you, you are most likely struggling with testimonials. You're struggling with recognizing the value that you give to people because they all are one and the same. Somebody told you, Kayla, I did your affirmation journal and I used your affirmation guide. And I woke up every day this morning and I completed my to do list before I went to bed. Every day, like I said, I wanted to have a morning routine and I wrote down the affirmations that I'm going to have the morning routines. And now I'm doing it. And what if Kayla was like, oh, that's not me. That's all you. You got it. You did that. No, that is a testimonial. That is proof that your product works. It's evidence. Take that. That's yours. They're sharing it because it's the truth. So the transformation is the same regardless. The individual results can be highlighted in testimonials. The collective results are the benefits. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Adrian. What you mean by that? Yeah, you have to be willing to share it. You have to be willing to talk about it, and you have to be able to do it in a way where it makes sense to people. It is clear that this is what happens, even if results may vary. Results are going to always vary. Everybody's different. Everybody's in different places. Everybody's got different industries. But it's the fact that this is what happened because they work with me, because they bought this from me, right? And so, in being able to recognize, like, even if you are like me and you don't want to promise certain results, like especially when it comes to things that are beyond your control, like numbers. And even sometimes, it doesn't always work out with people. Like, you're not going to always have the best client experience, whether it's on your end or on their end. But overall, consistently, like, there should be a pattern where you can see that this works, right? So if you are somebody who is struggling with accepting the good things about yourself, I want you to work on that, because that's going to also help you to accept the truth about what it is that you are able to provide as a transformation to people. Okay. So I think that I kind of like I kind of got off. I stayed on clarity much longer than I anticipated, but I think that, like, I feel like the clarity part is where people are really like losing. They're really losing themselves in it, because another aspect to that is, like, when you do lose that clarity, or when you're not honest about what it is that you want to do, you also are prone to veer off and deviate and take your detours, right? You're going to end up in a place where, okay, I was talking about confidence and showing up on screen and doing this, and now all of a sudden I'm over here talking about uh I'm trying to think of a good one. I'm over here talking about farming, like, gardening. I don't know. Like, one example that is like more direct. This is from conversations that I've been having over the past few weeks. We were talking to a realtor that we had met, me and Antoinette Bullock. She's a Bullock on most social media. That's where you can find her, or AB socials. And we were she's been doing this thing where she's going and she's networking with realtors, because her social media management is in real for working with realtors. So when she invited me into a live stream with a realtor that she had just connected with. And when I got into the live stream, the people in the comment section were, somebody who said, what was a phrase that they use? Got you. Like, got you. And she mentioned me. She said, got you. And so I was looking at it and I was like, like, you following me? Like, okay, like, that's great. Yay, thank you. But I didn't understand why she said it that way. And so I stay in the live for a little bit longer and I'm listening. And eventually the realtor that was hosting the live, she was talking about how she was giving someone content advice, and she said that she gave them a whole content strategy and like ideas that they should do for their content. And when she said that, I was like, why? And not because she didn't have anything valuable to offer, but because she was on there to get clients as a real estate agent. And I was confused about the purpose of her platform. And not to be funny or nothing, y'all, I promise you. Because I feel like sometimes it can come across a little like brash or rude, but I was genuinely confused, because when I see the handle, I see real estate, but then when I hear you talking, you're talking about content. And so automatically it's creating a disconnect for me, because I'm confused about what your platform does. So she was talking about that. And um and I think the person, I'm not even sure if the person was even in real estate. Like, it wasn't even like the person was in real estate. They worked in something else. I think it was like something financial. And so I was like a little confused. So we continued the conversation, and then all of a sudden she says something about like grow lives and making money as a creator on TikTok, and how she was a lot and involved in like a lot of big creators live streams, and she was worried about going live at the same times as those creators because she didn't want to infringe on their time slots. And like I'm hearing all of these things that sound to me like feeling inferior, like you don't deserve to take up space and take up time when the creators that you're referencing don't care about what time you're going live. They have their set schedule, they have their routine, they have their community, and they're going to go live based off of their needs and their priorities, and not based off of what somebody else is doing. Right? Are y'all following me so far? This is turning into a little bit longer story, but I promise it has a point. So she was saying that, so I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm like, okay, like this is starting to really rub me the wrong way, and I feel like I'm going to have to say something. So I'm listening, and so now I'm picking up on the fact that she is not really creating real estate content, and instead she's been operating like a content creator, going back to the monetization methods, right? The monetization paths as a creator, or with your content, and how content can get you paid. One of those ways on TikTok is through getting paid through gifts. When people subscribe to you, when you get a certain amount of views, when you are an affiliate for TikTok Shop, these are all ways for content creators to get paid for their content. And while that can absolutely be included in your content mix, because any way that you can make some money, like that's great, especially if it's already what you're doing anyway and creating anyway. But this was something different. This was my focus has now shifted from real estate to being a content creator. And it's not because I'm realizing that I want to be a content creator, it's because real estate wasn't working. The real estate content wasn't doing what I needed it to do. The content advice wasn't working. And so now I'm switching. Hey, Mask, I'm switching because I don't feel like my plan A is working. So now I'm going to plan B. And that's the biggest reason why I'm having this conversation with y'all, because I want to catch you before you give up. I want to catch you before you go too far in the wrong direction. And now you have to find your way back, or fight your way back for some people. And so I'm sitting, I'm listening. And so I remember earlier, I told you that the person in the comments was like, at it's Jada West, got you. And so she said it again. Exactly. You only gave plan A 3 business days. Y'all, I saw this post and I'm gonna tell y'all about it right after this. And it was about like making money through content. Which I think is very humbling when you listen to the numbers. So I'm sitting here, and so the person that was like at is Jada West got you. So she responded to me. She commented at me again, and she was like, "Got you," with a question mark. And so I was like, "Did I not acknowledge that you followed me? You know, I thought I said thank you," and I was confused. But the reason why she said "got you" is because they were using that live as a grow live. If you're not familiar with what the Grow Live is, a Grow Live is a live stream where the sole purpose is for people to grow their followers. And on TikTok, they do it so that they can get to enough followers to go live, or maybe they're trying to get to a certain number so that they can monetize on TikTok. So they go in and you comment your name, and people are like, okay, Kayla's in the comments, go and pick her up. And so they might pin Kayla's comment, and Kayla gives a gift to the host of the live stream, and then everybody goes and follows Kayla. And then the next person goes up. Okay, now Mask is up here, y'all go pick up Mask. So then Mask will, give a gift, and then everybody will go follow Mask. And then next thing with Adrian, right? So like that's how they do it to try to grow their followers. But you are just getting random people who are following you so that you can hit a number so that you can follow them back. Like that follow for follow train stuff. Like that's what the grow lives are about. And so so she was saying got you to me because she thought that I was going to be following her back. So now I am very confused. I'm like, oh no, I thought this was about real estate. Y'all in here doing grow lives? Your FYP is gonna be all over the place. Ain't nothing about it gonna be stable. Y'all, it finally clicked. I was like, oh no. I was like, hold up. Had to put up my church finger, like, hold up. What do you do? Like, what's happening? Are you trying to get paid as a content creator, or are you trying to do real estate? I was very, very confused. Yes, like I built this FYP brick by brick. And y'all, I have never done a grow live. I don't do the follow trains. I do not do them. The only thing that I did, and this is how I learned my lesson, engagement pods. Y'all heard of engagement pods before? This was like, I mean, this is what Instagram was built off of. Okay, Instagram was built off the backs of engagement pods, and so I early on I joined them, and this was maybe about like 2018, 2017, 2018, especially when I was first getting started. I joined an engagement pod. And so I'm in there, and some of the rules of engagement pods, if you've never been in it before, is that everybody has to engage, right? Like you have to engage in the chat or you get kicked out the chat. Yeah, shout out for shout out. Everybody has to follow each other. If you don't follow everybody in the group, you get kicked out. And when people post a video, they put it in the chat. Oh, hey friend, I was just talking about our real estate conversation. How are you doing? And so yeah, so you have to make sure that you're following everybody or you get kicked out the chat. And then they would do things like giveaways. And so you would have like say like it was like maybe like a group of 10 of us. We would come into, I'm doing good, friend. We would come together, and I think everybody would put in like a little bit of money, so that we can host a giveaway. And so sometimes it'll be a mix of like money, a mix of money, and then also like different like physical products, different gifts. And we all would post about this giveaway, and the people who wanted to enter the giveaway had to comment on our post. They had to follow us. And then they had to go and follow the people that were in our giveaway group. Right. And so this is what we would, and we would do this every so often, like maybe like once every 2 months, we would have these giveaways. And so these are all different ways, like different engagement pod things that we would do to grow our Instagrams. And so while it was great for the numbers, because again, the numbers were like super important. Your follower count was so important. Brands wouldn't even look at you until you hit 5,000. Like you weren't even considered a micro influencer until you hit 5,000 on Instagram. Like you really had to you had to put in some work for Instagram. So we were all trying to get to those numbers so we could start getting these brand deals, things like that. And so these are the things that I participated in. And so me being in these spaces, seeing how they operated and not liking the results made me change the way that I do them forever. Okay. I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. The engagement pods is weird behavior to me. Now, I will say there is kind of like a caveat to this, because I do think that it's better to move with a group of people. So I think that engagement pods actually could be a good thing, but the way that they're ran is trash. And I stand by this because people grow in collectives, people grow in networks, people grow when they are engaging with one another's content, when they're constantly sharing one another. Like when you can tell, like these are people that have a relationship and they are maximizing, multiplying their network because they're sharing one another's stuff and they're coming together, they're collaborating, they're affiliates and ambassadors for one another. I do believe in working like that. I think that if you're trying to do it individually, it will take much longer, and you got to be like top flight when it comes to marketing. You got to be top flight. You try to do it by yourself. Okay. You want to do it by yourself, then that's a whole other thing. But I see the value in it, but it also depends on the mindset and the way that those spaces are ran, right? So a whole other thing, whole other topic, but all of that to say that I have been a part of those groups and those pods, and that's the reason why I am like, no, follow trains, dub, grow lives, it's a dub, can't do it. And I even tried it out for myself. Like I wanted to see if I could do a grow live in a way that I enjoyed. And I'm not gonna lie, I only gave it like 3 to 5 business minutes. I did not do it for a very long time, but I enjoy the engagement of it and the energy of it, and I even love shouting people out so that more people know about them. And I'm still figuring out what it would look like to do that, but just in a different way. So I'm still kind of playing around with that idea, but all that to say, what are you doing? What are you doing? And if your goal is again to get paid for your products and your services, you don't need to go the path of a content creator. Like what, like why are you pressed about TikTok shop? Is your goal to get 10,000 followers, or is your goal to get to 10,000 K months in revenue? And that doesn't mean that you don't have that there aren't benefits to having, tens of thousands of followers, 100,000 followers. Absolutely, it gives you more visibility, but it's not the threshold or the minimum that you have to meet in order to start making money. That shouldn't even be your focus. Your focus should be on serving people, presenting the information that they need to make an informed decision about you, and presenting them with a quality product or service that provides a transformation. Kayla said $10,000, please and thank you. Correct. Like, what are we doing? And again, remember earlier in this live, I said that whatever you focus on will succeed, but you have to make a choice. You got to make a decision. How are you getting paid? What are you on these platforms to accomplish? Make that your primary goal, get it established and rolling, and then bring in all the other fun stuff that you want to do. Or if as you're doing it, opportunities present themselves, that's even better. Like, and I've said this so many times, y'all. Like, there have been so many times where brand deals came to me and I was not pitching them. I was not pitching them. Like, if the opportunity presents itself, amazing. If it doesn't, I still have this. I'm still focused on this. Now, there may come a time where, and I do feel like this time is coming soon, but there may be a time where I do focus more heavily on the brand deals and the brand collaborations. But again, it's also in an effort to support my business. Like, I want to have sponsorships for events. I don't just want to have one off videos that I'm getting paid for. Like, I want to be able to have some connections with brands that help me to present more resources to my community, not the other way around. And it doesn't mean that focusing on brand deals first is an issue. All of them are great ways to make money. All of them are very lucrative ways. But again, you have to make a choice. hmm I'm speaking it. I'm gonna get some kind of like educational platform brand deal, and I can't wait for it. Like, I've got my eye on Teachable. I know Teachable does them. I know I think Podia does, and there's another one that I know for a fact collaborates. It's escaping my mind right now, but yeah. Yes, exactly. The next content to profit will have a brand attached to it. Period. We're getting sponsored to continue doing the work that we are already doing. I'm not taking detours because the plan will work. What I focus on, and what I focus on will succeed. And in fact, I feel like that's kind of like an affirmation, Kayla. I want y'all to say that with me. I want y'all to say that. Don't, you can type it in the comments, but I want you to say it out loud. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a Kayla. What I focus on will succeed. That's my affirmation for today's live. Shout out to Off the Page Affirmation Guide. What I focus on will succeed. I want y'all to say that. I want you to repeat it. I want you to believe it. And then I want you to test it. Test the theory. I want you to focus on something small, and watch yourself accomplish it. What I focus on will succeed. Yeah. So that's the I didn't even give no like real technical tips or nothing, y'all. Clarity must have been really important. But yeah, like this is like that's the biggest thing though, if I'm being honest with you. There's like I said, there's so many different tips and strategies and hacks that absolutely work. People are talking about them because they work. But what is not what their people are not able to factor in is you as an individual, you as someone who has certain goals that you are trying to accomplish. What are the things that are going to get you closer to that goal? What's the thing that you're going to be able to focus on so that it can succeed? If you are in need of better editing so that you can keep so you that you retain people better, then maybe that's what you need to focus on when it comes to the content advice. Maybe you don't need to focus on the trending sounds right now. That's not your focus. Maybe your focus is, how do I get people to stay in my live streams longer? How do I get people to watch more of my videos? How do I get people to engage with my content so that they're more likely to click on the link in my bio? Right? Like that's strategy, that's intentional. And the tips that you're hearing, now you can be selective about what it is that you take in and apply, and the things that you let fly. Because contrary to what people say, there's actually a lot of great advice on the internet. There's tons of great advice. The problem is there's too much of it. And we're trying to implement it all when you only need to focus on what it is that's going to help you to get to your goals. That's where your discernment kicks in. That's where you remind yourself what it is that I want to do and how I want to make money and how I want to make an impact, and let that be what you use as a filter for the advice that you're getting in. Okay. All right, y'all. So I think that that's, if y'all feel like we need a part two, or if there's anything you want me to like go deeper on, then I will. But I feel like that's where I want to start. I think that that's more than enough. And actually, I do have some questions I want y'all to think about. That'll help you with this. But let me go to it because I got them written down. Kyrie, don't be making too much noise now. Okay, slammed into that chair and everything. All right. So here are where are they at? Okay. So here's a couple of questions you can ask yourself. Don't answer these now. Okay. Sit with these questions. What we should be focused on first before we add, what we should be focused on first before we add on and expand. Yes, I can repeat that, Adrian. So I was saying that what you need to focus on are what your goals are to monetize. Like what's your priority when it comes to making money? So is it to build awareness? Are you trying to get more people to know about you because you need to build your list, whether that's your email list, your text list? Are you trying to get more leads for X, Y, and Z? Are you trying to convert people? Are you trying to increase your sales? So that means that, as again, thinking as an entrepreneur, not necessarily as a content creator, are you trying to increase your sales so that you can get more like low ticket sales on maybe a journal or ebook or something like that? Are you trying to expand your network because maybe you're realizing, oh, I'm good at this, but I need somebody that can do the financial part? Or maybe I want to involve a guest mentor or a guest coach in my community. Or maybe I want to start doing podcast or YouTube videos with guests. Like what is the goal, and what is it helping you to accomplish at this stage in your business? And if we're talking about content creators, the same thing is true for you. Is your goal to grow your subscribers on YouTube so that you can have that income because you're already streaming for X amount of time a day? Are you trying to increase retention on your videos that go on your feed so that you can start getting payouts from the platform? So now you have to increase your output in videos, or you have to start working with different hooks or trying different angles. Like again, like it goes true for anything. Or maybe your goal is to get more brand deals. So that means that your content needs to start including more product recommendations, and you need to start using products and showcasing them and tagging them in the comments section, coupling that with going to platforms like LinkedIn where those brands are already at and start pitching to them, having conversations with them, making those connections. Y'all see where I'm going? But each of those things requires time. And I think that I was also saying something about all of the advice, but taking the advice that is relevant to your goals. So whatever people are talking about that is relevant to increasing your sales or increasing engagement so that leads to sales, or something that I've been experimenting with lately, is I don't have, my views aren't high, but my conversion has been much higher. So I was able to post a video the other day and it got maybe like 300, 400 views, but from that video, I was able to get 20 people to take my quiz. I got 20 leads from a video that didn't even get 1,000 views. You know, so again, thinking about what it looks like to take the advice that is applicable to whatever your goals are and leave the rest of that stuff off to the side. Hey Joyce, that is a new name. I'm glad you're enjoying the feedback and strategy, and thank you for commenting. So that's, yeah, so that's that. Hopefully that answered your question, Adrienne. I think I added a little bit more context to it than I did the first time. Let me know if that answered it though. So here are the questions, focusing on what your goal and strategy should be first. Yes, exactly. I'm gonna give y'all these questions, and then I'm wondering if I want to share a little bit of mine. Maybe not today. Maybe I'll do that another time. I'll share my strategy with y'all that I'm utilizing today. Oh, you know what I'll do actually? I'll share that with my subbies, with my substackers. So if you're subscribed on my newsletter, if you're subscribed to my newsletter on Substack, or yeah, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, my Creator Confessions newsletter, I'll share it with y'all in there. I think that'll be like a fun bonus just for y'all. So I'll share my strategy right now, and I'll give you an honest update on where it's at. Okay. So if you're not subscribed, I will put it down in the description box so you can sign up for it and you can get it. The newsletter is tea. Okay. I don't be in there just sharing a bunch of random things. I like to share things that you can reflect on, that help you grow as an individual, and that also help you to grow your business and improve your marketing and attract the right people. So, yeah, Creator Confessions. I'll drop it down there because I don't think that is down there at the moment. So y'all ready for the questions? If you are ready for the questions, just put a ready in the chat, and I'll read them off. Uh, let's see. Okay, I see it. Thank you for using the emoji, Kayla. I forgot to say it. Okay, so here are the questions that I want you to answer. The first one is, what's some advice that you tried that didn't work for you? Okay, what's some advice that you've tried that didn't work for you? Second question is, what's the most frustrating part of content creation right now? Okay, no matter how much you may enjoy it, because I know some of us, we genuinely enjoy making content. What's the most frustrating part of content creation for you right now? The next question is, what are you still working through? So when it comes to your content, and when it comes to actually when it comes to your content in general, because it could be a myriad of things, what is it that you're still working on? And what is it that you want to focus on in this season? So let's say the next 90 days, what is your goal and your focus when it comes to your content? All right. And I think I got one more bonus question for y'all. If you had to be completely honest, I mean, completely honest about what it is that you want to do, what is that path? Which will kind of help you to answer the question I just asked you about what your focus is for the next 90 days. So you probably have to answer that last question first and then go into what your goal is for the next 90 days. But if you had to be completely honest, what is it that you want to do right now? How is it that you want to make money on these platforms? Okay, I got them. Anything that I need to repeat? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's good. That's good. I was supposed to be going live yesterday, y'all. I think I do want to change our days to Thursdays cuz Thursday I've been able to actually get on here. Wednesday for some reason, I don't know, Wednesday's just not like hitting the same way for some reason. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But if y'all like Thursday, then I'm gonna definitely keep it on Thursday. Even if you don't like it, I'm sorry, you have to watch the replay because I think that it's gonna be Thursday. I can do Thursday at this time. So yeah, around like 1:45, 2 o'clock on Thursdays. I think that that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, good questions, Kayla. Okay. Amazing. I think it's gonna really help you. Cause what the biggest thing is that I think that we're missing, y'all. Cause again, there's so many amazing tips and strategies available to you online. Like there's a lot of people that know their stuff. It's a lot of people that are telling you some good things that could help you, but it is also a lot of information. Those people do not know you personally. You have to know yourself personally. And so these questions are designed to help you to be aware and be realistic about what it is that you want. Not even realistic, be honest about what it is that you want so that you could be clear so that you know what to take and what to go to the side. Okay. Yay. Okay. I love it. I love it. So be encouraged, y'all. Get excited about your content and get excited about your business again. Like, if there's one thing that I could leave y'all with, this is not a question, but this is just like an ask for you. I want you to bring the excitement back to what you do. Bring the energy back to what you do. And I'm not talking about being, I'm not talking about being Kai Sanat. Okay. You don't have to be in the microphone yelling at us. That boy is loud. He's a man, but he is loud, y'all. I watched one of his videos. I watched like a minute of his video and I was like, I am overstimulated. I can't do it. You don't have to be Kai Cenat, but you do have to you do have to be excited about what it is that you do. Like people can feel that energy. And if you're not feeling it, if you're not confident in it, if you're not excited about what it is that you're about to help people to do, people can feel that. Okay, people can feel that. So bring the passion back. And passion is maybe the better word. Bring the passion back to what it is that you do. Yeah, you ready? Bring the passion back to what you do. Get excited again about the people that you're going to help, and you'll be able to still tap into this acceleration of blessings that I feel like we are having. If you want to answer in the chat while we're still here, go for it, Adrian. I think these are gonna like take a little bit more reflection. Um, it might take a little bit more reflection. But what I would ask is that if you do want to come back and respond to them in the replay, I would love that because y'all know I already respond to everything. So I'll be back on here. But I think that some of them might take a little bit more time. But if y'all want to answer maybe one of them in the chat, go for it. I would love to hear it. Um, Yeah, that's everything. That's everything. Making sure. One thing that I do, I should have put this in the description. I was not even thinking about the description box when I set up this video. But if you haven't already, I'm gonna put this in there now because if you haven't already, y'all, make sure that you go and check out the quiz. Are you multi passionate? or are you avoiding what it is that you really want to do? It is in the bio on my it's in the bio my on my profile on my homepage on YouTube, but I'm gonna also put it in the description box. Give me one moment though. I wish I had this together. I don't like doing this stuff on camera. And so the quiz is a free quiz and it helps you to answer the question of, are you really multi passionate, or are you avoiding the thing that you would really love to do? And that rolls right into our conversation today about clarity. Just again, why it's like, I know I'm really onto something with this. But there was a way for me to do this on here and I forgot how to do it. Oh wait, I think I remember. I think I remember. Um no, that's the overlay. Oh, here it is. Ha ha ha. I forgot. Okay, it's about to be in the chat now. So this is, it says mood based quiz, and this quiz is going to help you to figure out if you are avoiding something, and it's going to give you some action steps to help you to move into a place where you are seeing the results that you want with your content, and you are moving with clarity so that you are seeing better results with your content. Oh, I can't make it a link this way. Okay. So it's going to be the first link on there. I'll clean it up later and make it look pretty, but you can click on it now. It's in the bio. And I want y'all to take that quiz, and I want you to know, let me know what your results are. So come back and let me know what your results are, because I really want us to exhaust our options when it comes to our plan A. And one thing that I was inspired by is this idea that some of us really are multi-passionate, and even if we are multi-passionate, we still have to create a container for our passions so that it is clear to others how to work with us. Okay. So for me, I ended up getting the alchemist, or the integrator. And the alchemist is the person that brings it, not the alchemist, the integrator is the person that brings it all together. Like, so I have different avenues, right? I got the fashion, I got the branding, and I'm bringing it together, because overall what I'm really doing is help you to be bold, help you to be confident, and be creative. And so creating a space that makes sense for those things to exist together, which is what Getting Unshy is about. So the Getting Unshy collective, that's the space where it's all coming together inside the For Trendsetters Only community, which I gotta do a whole walkthrough of that. Yeah. Yeah. I peeped your results, Kayla. Alchemist, integrator. And so I think that there's a lot of people that are integrators. There's a lot of people that are clear and clarity. And so you're the anchor. The people that are clear and have clarity, they are in a place where they have a knowing of what it is that they want to do. They're very clear on what that thing is. However, their biggest challenge is communicating that. And sometimes it's in owning it, and being direct about what that thing is so that people know where to go. It's like they're almost kind of like playing with it, and you're not being clear enough about what it is that people need to do as their next steps. Um hmm I feel like that's definitely something I should do more content on. Then there's the avoider. And I love my avoiders because I get it. I get it. Avoiders also know what they want to do, but the avoiders really are, I mean, they are running from it. Like, you're running from it. And whether it's because you tried it before and it didn't work, Or maybe you've never tried it before, but you're afraid, whether that's of the success of it or the failure of it, and so you're protecting yourself from being disappointed. And then the last one is escaping my mind. Hold on, I'm about to bring it up actually. I feel like my buckets are affirmation, self discovery journey, and being a joy influencer, but I've neglected my artist side and not sure how it fits. It's gonna fit in you creating the physical version of the off the page affirmation guide, Kayla. I had that revelation. I had that revelation. Because I even remember when you were talking about it, you were talking about it in a way where you were just talking about the design of it. And I know the design of it was really important to you. And not saying that's the only way that you're going to do it, but I think that that's going to be a very important way for you to be able to get it out. So it's another reason why I think the physical copy is going to be important. Let's see. So, and then we got the wanderer. There we go. And the wanderer is the person that's like truly in the experimentation phase. There we go, experimentation. Ooh, sorry. They're trying to do my hands together. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. I promise. I'm gonna tell you because there was something I had a conversation yesterday that made me think about you. So, so the wanderer is the person you might feel like you're lost, but you're not lost. You're exploring your options, okay? Which is why you're called the wanderer. And so the wanderer's biggest challenge though is staying in the place where you're not committing to anything. Okay? You just because you're wandering, just because you're exploring and experimenting doesn't mean that you are absolved of committing to something, even if it's something small, which is what I would suggest, committing to small things and seeing what the results are of it, taking observations, taking notes, reflecting on those things so that you can make an informed decision, so that you can shift eventually from being the wanderer to being clear or to being the integrator, which I think I kind of have a theory that I think the integrator, mm, I don't know. I think that people might stay in the integrator phase, but I think that honestly, you might move to clarity. But I kind of see those two as both of like the stable options of the two, where I would feel like you're in a great place to take that next step to either like coaching, having a strategy session, things like that. That help to really like push your goals forward. So you're basically, if you're in either of those categories, then you're in a good place to like, boots to the ground. Let's put this to work. Let's get some stuff done. Right. The wanderer and the avoider are, I think, in different places where they need to kind of like get more settled within themselves before they see consistent results with things. But you never know. You might be a wanderer, and then you're experimenting, and then you stumble upon your next thing, and now all of a sudden, boom, I'm clear. Or boom, I figured out how to merge my worlds together. So you don't have to stay in these stages forever. And and vice versa. Like you might be clear right now, or you might be an integrator right now, but maybe you in a year or so you go through a space where you're like, I kind of feel like I'm exploring now. I kind of feel like things are changing or shifting. And so I think that they kind of like they ebb and flow depending on where you are in life. But the quiz is designed to help you to understand where you are currently and what to do with that information. So if you're on that list, I am going to be sending y'all some more information, some follow-up things. If you haven't already seen my videos for each one, make sure you go check those out on TikTok. I made a whole playlist for you so you can go and listen to each of them. But as I'm like really thinking through these and thinking about what needs to be said to each group, I'll be sending y'all some things your way that'll be specific to your results as well. So all right. I think I have done more than enough talking. I'm going on 90 minutes, y'all. But I had a great time. I hope that y'all enjoyed this conversation. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. Summer is flying by, man. It's flying by. So I hope that you, up until this point, have enjoyed your summer. Um, Keep the people in your prayers that are going through the flooding. Um, I've been seeing more and more of the videos of it, and it is I mean, it's kind of like heartbreaking. Pray for the people who are in these detention centers and in these concentration camps that they're not trying to call concentration camps because that's crazy. Oh, I just can't. It's just crazy that we're repeating history, literally. Um, Pray for the people whose benefits are being affected, whether that's SNAP, Medicaid, Medicare. Like just keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, and to the extent that you can support them, however you can, whether that's sharing the materials, whether that is supporting some kind of fund. One thing that I will be setting up for myself is a recurring donation to our food bank, our local food bank. For some reason, between the local food banks, food and human trafficking are like really important issues to me. They always have been. So human trafficking, and especially like people who have survived domestic violence, domestic abuse. Those people are also, they just hold a special place in my heart. So I'm gonna be setting up donations to those places. So that's gonna be my contribution. So if you do spend any money with me or work with me in any capacity, just know that that's that part, a portion of those proceeds are going to be going to food, because like we need to be creating these spaces for ourselves if our government is not going to create them for us. So you're going to take the quiz today. Yes, the quiz is in the description box. Let me know if you can see it, Adrian. It should be just like a link. It should just be a link right underneath where it says video breakdown. Notes app is full. Can't wait to sit and revisit the questions you posed. Yes. Pose. Oh yeah, pose. Big prayers up for everyone across the country. Yeah, because it's a lot. But like I said last year, I remember late last year, Kayla, I was telling you the joy, the comforters. It was a brand personality that I was saying we're gonna really need. I believe that it was the comforters, the caregivers rather, and it was another one. I think it was the lovers. I was saying I mean we really need y'all. Like everybody needs to be in position. Everybody needs to be doing their part. But your role is a special one because we need it. Yeah, the caregivers. Yeah. Yeah, you want it. You want it. So yeah, y'all keep them in your thoughts and prayers. It's always on my mind. I know I don't talk about it often on my platform, but that's because my way of fighting back is through what I'm doing right now. And so I think if anything, it's just made me want to go harder, and it's made me want to be more intentional. It's made me want to be more consistent. It made me want to be more direct with y'all about what it is that you need to do. And so even though I'm not always reporting on it or talking about it, I do see it, and it does matter to me. And things like this are why I do what I do, so that we can have our own, so that we can create the spaces and the supports and the resources that we need for our community. So, y'all, yes. Oh, okay. Very last thing, y'all. Very last thing. I'm about to be a proud mom. I'm about to be that embarrassing proud mom because we have Caleb mixing prints. Look at it. Look at it. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I want you to know that you look like joy. You look like joy. You commented on a video. I'm sorry, Kayla. I really do be telling your business. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna stop. But I saw you comment on the video of a woman who had on like all of these super bright colors, like the pinks and the baby blues and the green and the yellow. And when I looked at her and I saw her outfit, it made me think of you. And the fact that you commented on it, I was like, yeah, like your style can bring joy even if you're not saying anything. Like it can still bring joy. And I was like, you are embodying more and more of yourself by taking chances like this and mixing those prints. Like you literally look like joy. And it's like it's on brand. Like that's the part that's so crazy. Like it's on brand. Like it looks like you look like a joy influencer. I'm so glad you didn't. And I could tell that you were still like a little like on the fence about it. But I think it's just because you wanted to do it the right way. Like you didn't want to do it wrong. But when I tell you you ate, like you ate, you did an amazing job. You did such a good job. I'm so proud of you. And I hope that you like take this as your encouragement to keep on going and keep doing things like that because it is you. It's you in an outfit. So it's almost up there with how I felt when I saw you in that pink dress that I like obsess over. I love that dress too, like that pink and red dress. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. More of it, please. You did a great job. So yeah, nah, not a crumb in sight. Not a crumb. Plate's clean. What plate actually? Plate's going to. So yeah, I wanted to shout that out. Yeah, the pink polka dot one. Yeah, and I think that that's why. Like, I think that it's yeah, like the color, the pink, but it just felt vibrant and joyful, but feminine and still sexy at the same time. Like, like those words really don't go together, but they do when we look at you. So yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. All right, y'all. I've said this multiple times. Yeah, I'm glad you're making it your own too. I really am. I love that. I was like it was inspired by me, but you really did do it your own way. You really did. Like you did. And all I need to do is I'll share that I inspired you and that the idea came from me, but you made it your own. And like that's what I love to see. As I'm saying that, another thought's coming to my mind, but I'm not gonna share that with y'all right now. Okay, for real. I love y'all. As always, I've had an incredible time hanging out with you today. I enjoyed this so much. I'm looking forward to what your reflections on the questions I asked you revealed about yourself. And I'm also excited to see what clarity comes from you answering those questions and taking that time to be honest with yourself. Because, like I said earlier, what's our affirmation? What you focus on will succeed. Okay. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Mask. There was a new face that popped in, and I want to make sure that I call you out by name. Thank you, Joyce, for stopping in. And those that are watching the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to still respond, still engage with the video, even if you're watching the replay, because I absolutely will talk back to you. All right. That's it. Y'all be good. Talk to y'all later.